Hello. This is Keegan, Billy G. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I'll try to speak up. I'm also recovering from jaw surgery, so I know I probably look a little different, might sound a little different. Recording this video today to share something on my heart, with the intention to inspire, just share, get a conversation going, just connect with the world out there. Yeah, it's funny how the universe works. I brought my microphones out here with me. I was gonna clip a little microphone onto my shirt so I could do this talk, and they weren't charged, of course. And I don't know about you guys, but I have the thought that probably means I shouldn't do this. It'd be a hell of a lot easier to just not do this and go back home and sit in the comfy chair and hang out more, but I know it's important to share, and so I just wanted to share that. I felt it was just, I turned it into something that could be shared, that could be helpful, instead of, giving into those runaway thoughts of wanting to hide. I'm also outside, so inviting in, welcoming in all the noise around me. It's good practice for me to learn to speak up, so you guys can hopefully hear me. And if I decide you can't hear me in this video, well, you probably won't be watching it. As I said, my name's Keegan, Billy G. If you're watching this, you probably know me, probably follow my channel. Gonna be hoping to share a lot more of my thoughts from a good place, a centered place. Today is it's a significant day for me, and I felt called to share why that is. It's nothing crazy, but it's crazy to me. Today is November 2nd, 2025. I had jaw surgery about 12 days ago. And yeah, I got my notebook here from what I was writing about today, so I can reference some of the things I'd like to share. But today marks exactly 1 year, 365 days since the last time that I have smoked marijuana. And if you know me, if you've known me my whole life, that's a really big deal. I started smoking when I was around 11 years old, and I have never gone a year without smoking since 11 years old, and I'm a month and 10 days away from being 30 years old. So, when you're 11, you're not smoking all the time. It's not as easy to get. It's not as much, but always found it somehow. And as I got into later teenager years and adulthood, it was much easier to get. And I just want to start off by saying I'm sharing my story, not to tell people what to do, not to say people shouldn't smoke, not to convince you what to do with your life. I don't believe in that. I believe in sharing my truth and each person deciding for themselves what is right for them. For me, this past year, choosing to not smoke was very beneficial. I'm going to go into that. And for somebody else, that might not be the case. I am not against smoking marijuana. I'm not against marijuana in general. It has been a huge blessing in my life, a huge, just a medicine for me. I'm very grateful for my use with it, and it could pick up again at some point. I'm not here to say what's what my future holds. I'm just here to speak about my last year. So, yeah, I just can't believe it. The challenges that came with that. I'll just start by referencing I just wrote all about it. It's kind of all out of order. Um, but yeah, uh, I used weed as a very, um, I don't know, I think you call it like a coping mechanism, a medicine, something to escape, numb what I was feeling, to calm my anxiety, to help me just feel okay in my environment. And for a long time, many, many years, smoking really did help me. I think the initial start for smoking was um, pure influence. I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to do what I saw was the cool kids, the older kids were doing. I wanted to fit in and be accepted. And that's how it started, I believe. Um, but in my later years, it definitely became a tool to help and support my regulation of my nervous system, just be alive, honestly. Um, yeah, being grounded and sane. And yeah, I wrote here, I would have much rather have smoked all the, how much I did and all the times I did than be on any prescription medicine or anything like that. So I'm very grateful that I got to rely on that instead of those other things, because I actually tried depression and anxiety medicine, and if it works for you, it works for you. I'm all for that. It did not work for me. It did not make me feel uh, just made me feel like I was over there and like didn't feel depressed, didn't feel anxious, but I wasn't here. Um, and let's see. Yeah, so in the beginning, just whenever you can, smoke with your friends. You got soda cans and apples, and you're in a park bush, and you're just doing. You don't know what you're doing. You're just doing it, and then I would say around late teenage years, early 20s, I actually was like dabbing. I think most everyone knows what that is, and where I was like dabbing like globs of a dab, like all day, every day with my partner at the time, and just completely numbing, not happy with myself, not happy with my life. And that was a lot different than using it as medicine and using it to help in social situations and things. That was pure abuse and pure numbing. So I don't know when, but eventually I stopped dabbing completely and actually stopped using such high THC percentage or just like the crazy stuff they have nowadays. Just like a little bit was like enough for me, and went from like little use to like extreme use, went through all the waves, and like at the end there it was just like an every once in a while thing just to feel a little better, to get creative. For the last little bit of that I was smoking, it was just be creative. I did find with that I appreciated the creativity, but it just wasn't what it just was very short-lived. It was like a boost of creativity, and then like I gotta go lay down, I gotta go eat something, I can't keep my attention on this. And I think with a lot of any substance use, like especially recreational substance use, I still use mushrooms. And I think for me, the big difference in use as a young kid and teenager has been, intention And like a lot of intention has to do with dosage for me. Is it's like, do I really need so much? Or do I just like that I know that would feel good? Or can I just, you know, use a little bit, set the intention, like have let this help me, let this guide me, let this show me what I need to see to heal, to whatever blockage I'm working through. And that has been a huge game changer, and I think it can be the same with marijuana. Really taking the time to use it intentionally. I think for me, I used it a lot of times reactively, and that is something I have been working on the last few years. Is reacting to my body, to things outside of me, versus responding, taking a slower approach. That has come through my studies in Kabbalah, to just talk about, pausing before reacting, just taking something slower, taking some time before you make a decision or do something, especially big decisions. But even just before, if somebody comes at you and talks to you, just taking some time before you respond, to really, you know, whatever. And I am not perfect at that at all. It is a very hard thing to work on. Not hard, it's challenging, and I think it's a part of our work here. That's just my personal belief in this world, in this universe, to work on the way we react. And I think a lot of us are programmed, and we are programmed. Our nature is to be reactive, to this animalistic instinct to fight or flight, to protect, to we gotta eat, we gotta do this, and that's not, I'm not saying that's bad, or that should go away, or that's horrible, because it's actually a beautiful part of how we've been able for generations to survive on this planet, and it's a beautiful thing. It's just now it's being used in this way where some of us aren't starving, aren't in a dangerous situation, and we don't have to be activating that all the time. Now, there's still plenty of need for that. Thank God that we have that. But, you ever just notice, like, when you don't eat and you just get like, you're almost a different person. People say hangry, like it happens to me. You're just like, and it's like, you just need to eat. But, it's not like we have to go, some of us don't have to go out and hunt for our food or gather our food. We can just go in the fridge, but it's more about being proactive, about taking that time to be like, if I don't eat and get ahead of that, I'm gonna kind of go into this place where it could negatively impact those around me or myself. I could be more impulsive, more reactive, be more snappy, be more angry, just because I didn't take care of this need. So that's just kind of my tangent. I feel like for me personally, I saw that smoking marijuana was the same thing. It was when I needed comfort, when I needed numbing, when I didn't feel okay. Let me smoke, and now I can feel okay. And I'm not saying that's wrong. There's anything wrong with that or anything. What I want to talk about is, since not smoking, I have found it very empowering. Like, as a person who has struggled with, self-esteem and self-love my whole life, it was very challenging when something would happen that made me uncomfortable. And since 11, maybe probably like 15, 16, let's say, and I'm 29, something happened. I just need to smoke. That'll make it better. That'll help. And when things would happen, it was like that urge that was so strong But working through that and then realizing, hey, I guess I didn't need that, and it was okay, and I actually dealt with it, and I feel okay. And that's not easy for everybody. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just found it very empowering, and it actually led to, you know, I would say it probably around, I don't really know, but like 6 months, that was really hard. It was like everything in my brain was giving me a reason why I should smoke. There were some things going on for me personally that was just like, it's just what I've done, you know? So it was just like, just do that. You'll be okay. That's what was going on here. And it was just like a lot of willpower to be like, no, just sit with it, be present, and, feel that, feel what you're going through. Do it. What do you need? Do you need a walk? Do you need water? Do you need food? Do you need alone time? Do you need to isolate a little bit and not, be overstimulated, be around people? Do you need to talk to somebody? And I found that very empowering. Instead of just smoking, I was able to navigate challenging situations. And it was like, after it was like, whoa, like, I can do that. And I don't need an outside substance or anything outside myself to be able to do that. And so it gave me a lot of trust, a lot of faith in myself. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this. I meant to when I talked about how I use mushrooms and using intention and stuff. I feel like a lot of substance use, even in a positive, intentional, healthy way, what I always would say to my partner when we would do mushrooms or acid, is I would say, okay, we're gonna borrow some energy from tomorrow. Because if most people know, any drug or substance, and for me personally, I think it's, all of this is just my personal opinion, you don't have to agree. Even with marijuana, you get that rush of energy, you get that lift in energy, but there always is a crash. So I always say, like you're borrowing energy from a later point, and I might have some snot, a little numb there, so I don't really know. But yeah, and I used to always be like, I need weed to be creative, or to be productive, and but creativity was a big one. And then it took a while, but now I can tap into my creativity without smoking. And the cool part is it lasts for me longer. It's like I can go for hours and hours and hours. Would I be smoking? I'd be really creative for a short time, and it was awesome. It was great. But now it's like where I'm at, I feel like I can tap into my own creativity, and it just go. I don't crash, as I'm not having that crash, so I can just go like hours and hours, and that feels really good, and that is really cool, to think that I have this creative power within me, and like, again, I don't need this substance to tap into that. Yeah, and I did totally think, like, I felt it was really what was right for me and necessary to stop for this year. And when I first decided to do it, I totally, without a doubt, thought as soon as I hit that year, I'm gonna be like, light it up, dude, like, let's go, like, did it. And I have no desire right now. A lot of my reasoning for wanting to do it was, well, I quit to do a plant medicine ceremony. So I quit in preparation for that. And after the ceremony, it didn't feel right I just knew I needed a break. And a part of that was, I just didn't want to be attached to something. Like, what 11, let's say 12, 13, 14, 15 to almost 30, of I probably at the most did like 2 months without smoking. And, so it just felt like I was very attached and dependent on smoking to be okay. And I just wanted to, even now, if I felt it was right for me, I would smoke. What, there's no, in the future, that could be totally what I need to do. But it's like, now I feel like I can say, sorry, now I feel like I can say I'm not dependent or attached to that. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That was personally what I wanted for myself. And so yeah, and it's been really cool. One of the most, here's the thing. Yeah, when I stopped smoking, I really had very strong, intense dreams as a young child, and they went away. And when I stopped smoking, they came back, and I started dreaming again, which for me personally is so cool because I love being in the dream world. Sometimes I can want to stay there too long a little bit, but yeah, I had a lot of intense dreams around that time where I was really having challenges of I smoked, and then I was like so disappointed in myself, and it was really funny because I would literally wake up and go through my day like, man, I smoked, like shit, like I did that. And then at one point I'd be like, wait, that was a dream. Like, that's how real my dreams became again, and that's how they were as a kid. I like literally felt like I did that. And it's so cool dreaming again. And one of the biggest challenges too is the social aspect of it. I mean, for me, smoking is it was such a social thing. It was like, this is what we do. We hang out and we smoke and we talk and we get the munchies and this is like our lifestyle. And I found it really awkward when I stopped smoking. And it was also another aspect of the challenge. You go outside with friends and everyone's smoking and they go to pass you, and I would just say, no thank you, like, and it's kind of like this awkward, like, okay, you're in the circle, but we're just skipping you every time. And ultimately I would get in my head about it, obviously, a little bit, and be like, they're probably like, why do we gotta like skip this guy, just go away, guy. But really I realized a lot of people don't care, and I didn't care either. They wanted to smoke, I wanted to be there and hang out. My friends, they weren't like, what the hell is wrong with you, dude? They were kind of like, oh, Keegan always smokes, so it's kind of like, that's interesting. And then it was like, but then it was just like, okay, that's what he's doing. I think I also have really great friends who, are very accepting for whatever an individual wants to do. So I was very blessed for that. And it's the same thing for me. I don't judge anybody for smoking around me, and I've been very grateful. My fiance still smokes. It helps her relax. She has a hard time relaxing, and it helps her. It's medicine for her, and so I'm totally supportive of her, and I trust her to use it, the way she needs for herself, and only she knows that, and only you know that for you. And also, it's been really cool because she's been really supportive of me, of just, not making a big deal, like just continuing to do what she does, letting me do what I do. And when I told her today, hey, it's been a year, she was like, good job, like, because she knows that's what I wanted. And that's what it's about. It's about just doing what's right for you as an individual. And I just felt called to share this because, I'm practicing speaking my truth and not being worried about what other people think of me. And I think I would care what people think of me, but mostly because I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to tell them what to do, because I've been that way before, and I know nobody likes that. And but I trust myself to come from a place of I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I'm just trying to share my story. Um, yeah, I think. Oh, last thing. Yeah, I do just want to bring up how, you know, since marijuana has been legalized, it's crazy like how it's taxed and how it's like more genetically modified, so I've heard, than ever. And I've even heard people talk about how the percentages of THC and what they do to get these, insane amounts of THC is totally unnatural. And like where marijuana was at, you know, thousands of years ago or whatever, it's not the same. It didn't it wasn't. I don't know the research behind it. This is just what I've heard, but I just want to share it. It's just, you know, people are getting way higher than they would off of, and like maybe that's your goal, but it's also like, I just want to point it out that, it's legalized, it's taxed now, and it's also like, um, I think we're living in a society where people, maybe the elite, maybe, people in power want us to stay comfortable, want us to stay numb, want us to be taxed on a plant, and I don't agree with that at all. And I think the clarity that has come with not smoking has made me tap in more to my ambition, my personal power to want to make a change in the world. I don't know if you'll see the correlation there, if that will make sense for you, but I think there's um, that a lot of it, the way it is so we don't want to have the energy and be inspired to make change in our society. And I'm not saying if you smoke weed, you're not inspired to create change in society. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, personally for me, I've had more energy and I just feel more awake. I feel more present. I feel more alert. I feel more aligned with my true self. And I honestly, truthfully wish that for every person on the planet. I trust that you know what is right for you, what choices are right for you and yourself. You're the only person who knows that. And I'm hoping that we can just create a better future together. Much love. Thanks for listening to my talk. And yeah, we'll see what comes next. Have a beautiful day.